Welcome to where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers disorderly conduct, personal privacy, and remaining silent, and is brought to us by IDC Chris's channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. Let's dive right in and audit the audit. On July 4, 2019, YouTuber and First Amendment auditor Christopher B. Derstadt was conducting a First Amendment audit on a public sidewalk outside of the Mendota Lutheran home in Mendota, Illinois, when he was contacted by Officer Holland of the Mendota Police Department. The MPD had received a complaint from the residents of the Lutheran home that Mr. Biederstedt was trying to film the inside of the building from the outside.
Why are you recording the nursing home? You're upsetting the people who live here. Chris, stop walking. Stop. What is going on? Why are you recording the... Chris, stop.
At this point, Mr. Biederstedt is officially detained and must obey the commands of the officer. In the infamous Terry versus Ohio case, the Supreme Court recognized that when an officer, by means of physical force or a show of authority, has in some way restrained the liberty of a citizen, then a seizure has occurred. The moment Officer Holland ordered Mr. Biederstedt to stop, he was officially detained and subject to the lawful orders of the officer. Whether or not the officer's orders are lawful is to be interpreted by a court. And in our current justice system, even if the officer's orders are unlawful, they must be obeyed when they are issued and challenged later in court. I have covered the topic of detainment in many of my other videos, and I will not spend much time on it in this episode. However, I highly recommend taking a look at past episodes to get a better understanding of how a detainment works and how it relates to the Fourth Amendment.
Why are you recording the nursing home? I'm speaking to you. I'm getting complaints about your actions. What is going on? Chris!
Please let me go.
No, I need to find out what's going on. You're upsetting the people who work here. So stop.
I'm gonna go.
I'm ordering you to stop. So stop.
You work for me, I don't work for you.
Well, I work for the public who called me here because of the actions
Did I do anything illegal?
You're upsetting the people who live here.
Did I do anything illegal?
27 from 156. Can you assist? You need to stop, okay?
I'm gonna
What is going on and why
Is this illegal?
I want to know what's going on because you're upsetting these people. I want to know what you're doing.
Did I do anything illegal? I don't answer questions. Definitely not to you.
Disorderly conduct, Chris.
Disorderly conduct
You're
how?
alarming and disturbing the people who
Am I allowed to photograph on the sidewalk or no?
At this point, Mr. Biederstedt is officially detained and must obey the commands of the officer. In the infamous Terry versus Ohio case, the Supreme Court recognized that when an officer, by means of physical force or a show of authority, has in some way restrained the liberty of a citizen, a seizure has occurred. The moment Officer Holland ordered Mr. Biederstedt to stop, he was officially detained and subject to the lawful orders of the officer. Whether or not the officer's orders are lawful is to be interpreted by a court. And in our current justice system, even if the officer's orders are unlawful, they must be obeyed when issued and challenged later in court. I have covered the topic of detainment in many of my other videos, and I will not spend much time on it in this episode. However, I highly recommend taking a look at past episodes to gain a better understanding of how a detainment works and how it relates to the Fourth Amendment.
I'm trying to figure out what you're doing.
Okay.
Chris?
Look,
I'm going to put you in handcuffs if you don't stop.
You can put me in handcuffs.
Okay, then stop.
No, you can put me in handcuffs. This isn't legal.
Stop.
This is not legal.
What are you doing?
This is not legal.
Chris?
This is not legal. I'm going about my day.
I'm detaining you until I can find out what you're doing and why you're doing this.
This is
Put your
illegal.
phone down.
That's a Terry stop.
I'm detaining you.
That's a Terry stop.
Put the phone down.
That's a Terry stop.
A Terry stop is a stop of a person by law enforcement officers based upon reasonable suspicion that the person may have been engaged in criminal activity. Mr. Biederstedt is correct that Officer Holland is conducting a Terry stop based on the reasonable suspicion provided by the 911 call received. The Supreme Court has ruled that 911 calls can serve as reasonable suspicion, and I have covered that subject in different episodes, which I will link to in the info card above. It is impossible to know what the 911 caller reported to the Mendota police, but the officers mentioned that the caller was concerned about Mr. Bettistet's mental stability because of his bizarre actions. It is likely that a court would find that the officers were within their authority to stop Mr. Bettistet based on the information provided by the 911 caller. As Officer Holland places Mr. Bettistet into handcuffs, Sergeant Stewart arrives on the scene.
Sergeant Stewart, I detained him because he wanted to be recording inside of the Uber home.
Why are you recording him inside?
And he will not give me that answer. He keeps
I
pulling
don't.
away from
I'm
me.
definitely not answering questions to you guys, but
Okay, I'll hold him. Go see if they'll sign a complaint for disorderly conduct.
This-
Why are you being that way, dude?
like what? Hey, can I not
You can.
photograph on the sidewalk?
They
Am I
were
allowed to?
they were concerned that you were photographing residents inside.
No, there wasn't.
You weren't. You
No.
just photographing
Look, all these blinds are closed. Yeah.
along here. I don't know if they
Yeah,
are or
go,
not.
Go look at them. All right.
Why wouldn't you stop when she asked you to?
Do I have to?
Yes.
Was I being detained?
Yes.
What crime was I suspected of committing?
It is a common misconception that officers require suspicion of a specific crime in order to detain an individual. The legal doctrine set forth by the Terry case dictates that officers only need a suspicion that criminal activity is afoot. If an officer can point to specific facts that made them believe that some crime may have been committed, then the officer may detain an individual in order to investigate further. Although photographing on a public sidewalk is not a crime in and of itself, there are limitations to the protections offered by the First Amendment. Citizens are entitled to a reasonable expectation of privacy in certain places, and in the 1967 Supreme Court case of Katz versus United States, Justice John Marshall Harlan established a two-pronged test for determining whether an individual's expectation of privacy is reasonable. The Katz test considers whether an individual has exhibited an actual, subjective expectation of privacy and whether that expectation is one that society is prepared to recognize as reasonable. That being said, the First Amendment does protect the act of public photography, and the public domain extends to whatever can be seen from a public location. While citizens may assume that they have a reasonable expectation of privacy inside their homes, courts have ruled many times that photographing the inside of a home through an open window is a constitutionally protected activity.
You really want to go that route?
What crime?
We're
was I-
investigating somebody acting in a disorderly manner.
How?
You're video recording a nursing home and
But
you were upsetting the
photography
residents.
on the sidewalk.
We didn't know that. Don't we have to talk about it?
Photography on the sidewalk. Do
Okay.
I have to answer questions to that? No, I don't.
Wow.
Do I?
Where'd you get your law degree, man?
Do I? Do it. I was videotaping from the sidewalk. This is a universe. This is a whole. This is a right.
I have no idea, man. You won't cooperate with us and tell us what's going on. You're being asked to cooperate, and the
That's right.
police officer's giving you a direct order, and you won't stop.
Because I don't have to. Because I didn't
Yes,
do
you did.
anything illegal. No.
So that's in your opinion, not ours.
No, it's not. An opinion.
Okay.
I did not do anything illegal.
Okay.
In general.
Okay.
The Fifth Amendment's right to remain silent can be a powerful tool for anyone interacting with the police, and in most cases, it is a good idea to remain silent as much as possible, but also within reason. The right to silence was designed to prevent individuals from incriminating themselves, and successfully invoking that right requires a functional balance between disseminating necessary information to police officers and not answering potentially incriminating questions asked by police officers. Although you are well within your rights to remain completely silent during most police interactions, outside of identifying yourself, it may not always be in your best interest to do so. Silence often says more than words, and it is extremely important to bear in mind how your actions will be viewed inside a courtroom after the interaction has taken place. Failing to announce your intention to exercise your rights leaves the court open to interpreting what your intentions may have been. This was the case for Iowa-based auditor Daniel Robbins, who was arrested for photographing a police station from a public sidewalk and lost the subsequent lawsuit because he failed to articulate that he was exercising his rights, leaving the court to draw its own conclusions about his intentions. I will link my coverage of Mr. Robbins' interaction in the info card above. If Mr. Bettistet had simply announced that he was exercising his First Amendment right to record in public, it could have de-escalated the encounter and served him well later in the courtroom.
photographed was because I knew it was within my rights.
Okay. That's fine. I mean, if that's all you were doing, but if you're videotaping and taking pictures of people inside there, that's a different story. Or if you're going on their property acting in a disorderly manner, that's your problem to deal with.
Officer Holland eventually returns with what appears to be a staff member of the facility and informs Mr. Peter Stett that he is under arrest for disorderly conduct. Sergeant Stewart escorts Mr. Peter Stett to the patrol car, and then something amazing happens.
So he's walking by videotaping the building?
Videotaping the building, he's like zooming in on the windows, zooming
that's...
in on the doors. I know.
It's not illegal to do that.
I explained to them what's going on, and they're like, oh my gosh, okay, I don't know what he's doing.
Okay, but time out. That's not illegal to do that.
Okay.
So he's not acting in a disorderly manner if he's on the sidewalk walking by videotaping the outside of the building. Okay. That's the problem we have.
Yeah, and they were disturbed by his actions once they found out what was going on.
But how are they? They're disturbed that he's walking on the sidewalk videotaping?
They were concerned because they don't know his mental state. They don't know what he was doing. And I told him I can't.
Well, he wasn't, I mean, other than not obeying you, which is a no-no, which, I mean, that is what it is, but as far as walking by with a video camera, I mean, I'm not, that's not something that, even though they're
bothered by the actions that he was doing.
You could be bothered by a lot of things, Sam.
After Sergeant Stewart intervenes, Officer Holland uncuffs Mr. Peter Stett, and after a calm conversation with the sergeant, he is released. The officers then leave the scene without further incident. Overall, Officer Holland gets a C- because, although she may have been within her authority to detain Mr. Bedestedt, she essentially admitted to soliciting a complaint from a staff member of the facility and fully intended on making an arrest.
And they were disturbed by his actions once they found out what was going on. So they were willing to sign him.
Officers soliciting charges is a relatively common problem that is often difficult to prove. It is not uncommon for officers to solicit a charge so that they can arrest someone and go on about their day, rather than taking the time to examine all sides of a conflict. Anyone who has interacted with police can attest to that notion. Officer Holland fell into the typical routine of restoring peace at the expense of administering justice, but luckily, she was corrected by Sergeant Stewart. Sergeant Stewart gets an A+ for engaging with Mr. Bedestedt in a challenging but cordial conversation, for questioning Officer Holland's tactics, and for ordering her to release Mr. Bedestedt. It is increasingly rare to see an officer display a relatively thorough knowledge of constitutional protections, but it is even rarer to see a supervisory officer object to the charges brought by a fellow officer on those grounds. I commend Sergeant Stewart for having the proper knowledge and awareness to dispute Officer Holland's assertions and ensure that peace was restored and justice was equitably served. Well-informed officers deserve to be in supervisory positions, and Sergeant Stewart demonstrated great policing during this encounter. Mr. Bedestedt gets a B+ because, while it could be argued that he was engaged in a constitutionally protected activity, Mr. Bedestedt's decision to record a retirement facility raises serious ethical questions. There is no progress to be made within the constitutional awareness movement by recording the Lutheran home, and alarming the residents of an elderly home only serves to make the movement look bad as a whole. Many of the home's residents are likely mentally unstable, and pointing a camera at such an establishment is obnoxious and disrespectful. While Mr. Bedestedt failed to properly exercise his Fifth Amendment right to silence, he did remain calm and collected throughout the encounter and ultimately was not charged with a crime. Mr. Bedestedt would also do well to re-examine the Terry case and gain a deeper understanding of reasonable suspicion. Mr. Bedestedt did a good job overall, and as his legal knowledge grows, so too will his auditing ability and ethical awareness. I look forward to seeing the auditor he will become, and I highly encourage you all to support his channel. The link is in the description. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more police interaction content.